Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. So I wanted to do a breakdown of the 12 steps. I spoke about this in a previous video and I'll link that below if you're interested in going to watch that, where I talk about my realization that the steps that I've been undergoing for my spiritual quest or awakening, that process, that journey, that path, has a lot of similarities to the AA 12 steps. And I rewrote them just to suit my brain, right? But they are based on the 12 steps. And again, I did not base my journey off of the steps. It was already well into my journey that I read the steps and realized, oh, this is very similar. This could really help people, like a step-by-step guide almost on how to pursue this path for themselves. So I wanted to sort of take, there's 12 steps, I wanted to sort of take 3 steps at a time and delve into what they mean to me and to see if that'll help you understand them. If you have any confusion, you probably don't, but just in case, I thought it might be helpful for people who need a little bit more guidance. And again, this is just my opinion, my way of doing it, right? So take it if it resonates. If it doesn't, don't. Okay. So the first step is I admit I am powerless and that my life has become unmanageable. So in an addict's life, that would be just a complete downward spiral, a more obvious downward spiral into depression and heavy use of any of the addictive behaviors or substances, right? But in our regular, if you're not an addict in that sense, how does that translate? I'm powerless and my life has become unmanageable. You feel, maybe you feel depression, anxiety. You're so dissatisfied with life, you can't seem to tap into happiness. You wonder what that is, right? It's an unfamiliar concept to you. You don't have any hope, feeling perhaps that, oh, that's for other people, it's not for me. I just have bad luck in life. I can't be happy. It's not for me. Many a time in my past have I said, and others have said to me, Anna, you're never going to be happy. And I always thought, I'm never going to be happy. That's a concept that's foreign to me. When that is happening, that's when you're noticing it, you're like, why am I feeling this way? When you're starting to ask that question, you're at step number 1. I admit, and you're recognizing it, and you have to admit that you're powerless. And your life has become unmanageable. There's nothing you can do in the current behaviors that you're participating in to change the outcome of what you're feeling. If you continue to do the same thing, you can't expect a different outcome, right? You're powerless because you really don't know how to change that outcome, not the outcome, you don't know how to change the existing patterns of behavior, the existing thought processes, that negative tape that is playing on a loop in your head. You don't know how to fix it. So you begin to look at it and you're like, you're aware. I'm aware that I don't know what the hell to do, right? I admit it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not happy, and I don't know how to be happy. I don't know how to fix this. That's step number one. You're powerless, and you feel it, and you know it, and you're wondering why. You're asking why? Why? Right? So then you go to step number two. I have come to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. A lot of people might have a problem with that because many people don't believe there is a higher power greater than themselves. They don't believe in anything other than the physical. We are people, we are born, we die, we go to the earth, we're you know, and we don't, there's nothing to go to because there's nothing. If that's the stage, if that's what you believe, wholeheartedly believe it, nobody's going to change your mind that there's nothing beyond us. We're not, there's no souls in here, we're just people. We're cells, we're blood, skin, bones, muscle. There ain't nothing beyond us, nothing invisible out there. If that's you and you are really convinced, you might not be able to get out of this feeling of powerless, and you might not be able to manage your life. Just being really honest. Because there is a higher power. We do come from the divine source. We are divine. We are a part of that. We are little pieces from that. Like a big, every day I come up with a different analogy for what that source is. God, if you want to call it Allah, I don't know enough about that, some religions, so I don't know if it's a good equivalent, but whatever you want to call it. God, Allah, I don't know, divine source, universe. If you don't believe in that, that's what we are made of. So the analogy I was going to tell you about is like a big, you know, when you go to the county fair or any fair and you get a big cotton candy thing, and it's this big fluff. That's God. He gave me that idea, so I'm sure he's okay with it. God is this big ball of cotton candy. And you know, when you take a little piece and it dissolves, that's us. That's what we are. We're just a little piece of what that is. How do I know? I don't know. I just do. I just do. It's what I know. Not just believe. It's what I know. Because it's what I know. I can't explain that. I can't explain that. If you are convinced that there is no such thing, you might not be ready to go through this journey. You probably aren't. There's probably no one watching that is going through that. But if you know someone that's like that and you're wanting to give them this information, you might not want to waste your time. Or, you have intuition, and you know if someone is sort of wavering back and forth and saying things like, oh, I wonder, if they're questioning it, go ahead and give them the information. They might be ready. They might have reached their really rock bottom, and they're ready to pray, they're ready to meditate, they're ready to connect with something they don't even know exists. But that's okay, that's the beginning of it. That's a beginning. So, it's a difficult one. It's difficult. But if you... let me backtrack. I have come to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. Okay? So you might have been that person that didn't believe. Let's flip it. You might have been that person that didn't believe, and now you do. Because you've reached that point where your life is unmanageable and you feel powerless. And you're hoping that there's something, right? And you're starting to question it and to process that and maybe think, maybe there is something. I've come to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. So you've come to believe there is a power greater in yourself, and now you believe that that power is the power that's going to restore you to your sanity. It's going to restore you. It's going to make your life manageable. Not just believing in it, but a partnership with it is what's going to restore your sanity. It starts with believing in it. It starts with believing in it and maintaining that faith despite life knocking you down. That's faith. That's just, you don't have to see it, smell it, feel it, touch it to know it's there. You just let it go, and you know it's there. It's not something you think about anymore. It's just there. And when you realize you're a part of it, and then you're made of it, and that you're at one with it, it becomes an even more powerful connection. You just gotta start off with knowing that you've come to the realization that there is a power bigger than me. There's gotta be, because it can't just be this. That made sense. And then number 3, and I'll end it here so I can make it a shortish video, short-ish. I have made a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God or that source. I'll repeat it. I've made the decision to turn my life and my will over to the care of that source. Trust. That's what that is. I've made the decision to turn my will. I'm giving myself up to this thing I don't even see or even really know is there. But I'm trusting that it's there and that it's gonna take care of me. Trust. If you have trust issues, that one's gonna be difficult. All of these steps are difficult. All of these steps aren't just instant, right? Some of us have a head start because we've always known that there was a power greater than ourselves, and we just faltered and fell and maybe lost a little bit of that hope, but have regained our wisdom that was always there, right? When we came back to try and find it, to try and find this, to make the life more manageable. I've made a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand Him, is what is written there. So, how do you give your life? You don't have to become a priest or anything like that, right? But you make every effort possible to make sure that you're living your best life from that moment on. That whatever you're doing isn't harming anyone. That you're just doing the best you can. And the best you can might not even be that great. Because it depends on what you're going through and what you can manage. As long as you're not deliberately harming people, deliberately doing wrong things, that you're making the effort to forge ahead into the light. That's how you give your life over to the care. You have to trust that it's going to take care of you, but you have to do your part. It's not just, oh, I trust, and then you go and do a bunch of drugs and have a lot of sex and do a lot of gambling and, go work 16-hour shifts every day because you don't care about anything else. I mean, there's so many behaviors that can be considered addictive, right? Or not positive. I've made the decision to turn my will, because my own will hasn't been good enough. Because why? Because my life has become unmanageable. Because why? Because I'm powerless. I don't know how to manage it. So maybe something else, someone else can take care of it for me until I can figure it out myself. Turn your will and your life over to their care, his care, her care. And you have to learn that that only comes with trust. How do you build trust? Gosh, none of this is easy, and I'll keep saying that, and that's making it sound really lighthearted, and saying it's not easy is an understatement of the year. It's hard as fuck. It's hard. But at a certain point, you think, okay, if I don't believe, let's say you're that person that doesn't believe that there's anything above us, or below us, or around us, you would think it would be even easier for that person to just not give a damn and just let go, let everything go. Don't be stuck on anger, don't be stuck in sadness. Just live your life, live your best life that you can. When you start this process, we want to understand things in a logical way, right? We want to understand things. Oh, I have to make a list of the things that I understand and that I know. I have to make a list. I have to write it down so that I can reread it afterwards. We need to understand with this. When we need to understand in here. For me, it becomes easier every day. I've been on the journey for a while. It becomes easier every day to just be like, so what? So what? Just let it go. I still feel things, but I can let them go faster every day. I get better at it. And that's all you can do is just do your best. Do your best. That's how you give your life over to Divine Source, by doing your best to do good things, to inform yourself, educate yourself, read things, listen to things, connect with nature, meditate, pray, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to call it. Do things that, even if they don't feel right to you, if you're like, why am I doing this? Just do it. Just do it. At some point, you'll make the connections. Those little things that you do are little dots along the way, along your path. At some point, you look back and you see the line that's going through it and taking you in the right direction, in the direction towards happiness, towards satisfaction, towards complete and utter trust that you are living the life you're meant to live. Without fear, without judgment, without shame or guilt. Freedom, freedom, freedom to live and enjoy this life that you have, that you are fortunate to have. I hope that this is making sense. I prayed, I said a little prayer that my message would be clear, because sometimes I feel like I don't communicate what is in here very clearly, so I hope that it makes sense. And I don't want to overdo it too much. I just wanted to do 3 steps at a time because they're heavy, you know. I admit I am powerless and that my life has become unmanageable. I have come to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. I have made a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God or divine source or the universe. All right. So I'll leave it there. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'd be glad to do a Q&A or whatever I can do. Whatever I can do, I'd like to do it, as long as it's helpful. I feel like I'm fulfilling part of my life purpose by doing these videos and by offering this information as I understand it. I'm not an expert. I'm just a regular person just like you are. I've been through hell and back just like you are. Or have. But I'm here. And I'm on my path. And I see the light. And life is beautiful. There's challenges. There's difficulties. There's still sad days. But my most sad day on this journey, on this path, is 20 million times better than any happy, fulfilled day that I had in my previous life outside of my path. It's beautiful. And I want you to understand how beautiful it is so that you can, this curiosity you have, if you're watching this, you have a curiosity at the very least. Think about it. Just think about it. Before you even take one step forward, just think about it. Think about what this could mean for you. It's not an easy process because you have to analyze your stuff so that you can learn your lessons. We can't just go through and pretend and say, oh yeah, I believe, I trust, without really in here trusting, believing. Okay? It takes work. Because we have so many layers of stuff that throughout life has built up and up and up and up. I did a bunch of videos called Spirit Talk on my vlogging channel. I'm not going to transfer them over here. That's quite a daunting task. I'm going to create a playlist. As I've uploaded this, the playlist should already be up where I've put those videos, favorited them, and they're on a playlist called Spirit Talk. Okay? Anna's Spirit Talk. Because there's a lot of Spirit Talks out there. So I'd like for you to see if you're prompted to go back and watch those, because a lot of those have information just about my process and my journey. And I don't want you to miss out on that. I'm not posting these type of videos on that channel anymore, so I'm keeping it all here. But I'd like for you to have access to that, so take a look at the playlist if it allows me to link it somehow. If not, just go to my channel information under playlist. It hopefully will be there. If it isn't, that means I couldn't do it. And I'll just link the videos below in the description box. Okay? I hope that this was helpful. This is part 1 of 4. We're doing 3 steps in each video. And the next one we'll be doing steps 4, 5, and 6. And those are big. Those are big. So hopefully this is prompting you to think about stuff. Okay? Thank you very much for watching, and I appreciate your support. If you'd like a reading with me or any of that stuff, my information is below in the description box. That's it. My soul embraces yours. Namaste. Till next time. Bye.